Welcome on in to the 4-1 podcast. Tonight, we have Miss SOS coming in. This is Disc 3 Evolution. We are having so much fun. I'm having so much fun. I know my guest, the feedback has been amazing. So if you've watched a couple of the shows out there and you caught a couple clips, let me know what you feel about Disc 3 Evolution of the 4-1 podcast. So before we even get started, I want to make sure that I give a very special thank you to my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and be a servant to each and every one of you. Thank you so much to everyone who likes, comments, shares, checks out the podcast, checks out the stories, anything that you've ever done for the 4-1 podcast, Reading Between the Wines. I just want to say thank you so much. Miss Carol Cordera is out there from nice, sunny Florida. And I was asking her about the weather and how everything was. And she's saying it was cold yesterday and the day before it was 60s, but today it was better. So I don't know. But in Jersey here, it's really cold and I'm not a fan of the cold weather. And countdown to summer, actually. Forget spring. I just go right to summer. So countdown to summer. Um, I'm trying to see. Happy to be alive. Hey, how are you? Where are you calling from? Are you from Jersey too? I'm trying to get your handle name together, but I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm gonna just call you Pain 410. A lot of these things, when the handle names come across the screen real quick and I can't even read it and I don't want to mess anything up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Pain 410. Sonic, what's going on? Let me know where you are calling from. Like I said, we have Miss SOS coming in tonight, and we're going to be talking about some unsolicited counsel tonight. So I don't know if anybody has ever come across that concept where you've had some unsolicited advice from people who turned around and wanted to be your counselor. So unsolicited counsel is what we're going to be speaking about tonight. So, but before we do that, I want to let you know that you can listen to the full audio version of Unsolicited Counsel from Disc 3 Evolution. I recorded this starting in May. So it was early May when I first started recording, the Disc 3 Evolution. But if you'd like to get the full 17 tracks of Disc 3 Evolution, it's audio. It's not, visual, so you won't get to see me, but you'll hear and you'll be able to hear the mindset that I was in at that time frame. So Disc 3 Evolution, you can listen to the full audio version of Track 3 Unsolicited Counsel, which is on X, which is formerly known as Twitter, but is X. You'll get the full 17 tracks. Go ahead and check that out after you watch the show tonight. So song of the day. This is going to be interesting. We definitely getting ready to go right on in. Pain 410, thank you so much. I'll be sitting here waiting. Money, what's going on? Let me know where you're calling from. So for those of you who are joining for the first time, when I say where are you calling from, just drop it in the comments and let me know where you're from. So 4-on-1 podcast, we call people on the phone. So that's basically what that means in case you don't know. Song of the day, Jody Watley, Friends, featuring Eric B Rakim. This was released in 1989, and this is off of the Larger Than Life album. So speaking of unsolicited counsel, unsolicited advice, Jody Watley has a song called Friends. And it's basically, I'm going to read some of the lyrics from you so you can understand where we're coming from. Because a lot of times the unsolicited counsel, the unsolicited advice comes from friends. So what better yet? And they give you so much advice and they think that they know where they're going and they're headed in the right direction. And long before you end up crashing and burning. And if it's the friends that Jody Watley is speaking about, when you turn around and you ask them for help, they're nowhere to be found. After they gave you such great advice, after they turned around and, shared so many things with you as far as what would be right and what would be wrong, and you should do this, you should do that. So a lot of artists have, the title Friends. TLC has a song called Friends, and it's basically the same thing. What about your friends? Mary J. Blige has a song called Friends off of the Love and Life album, and it's basically taking you down the same thing. You're like, who are your friends? Vanessa, what's going on? Drop it in the comments to let me know where you're calling from. So Jody Watley says, have you ever been stabbed in the back by someone you thought was really cool? Did they steal your money? Did they steal your lover? Or was it lies they told? Friends will let you down. Friends won't be around when you need them. I'm talking about your friends. So, people who give you unsolicited advice, the things that I have to say is check the facts. Check the facts, check the source. Because a lot of people are giving you some advice and they shouldn't be giving you advice because they need to take their own advice. For example, a broke friend should not be trying to speak to you about getting money. And if I were you, I wouldn't even take any advice from somebody who is not on the same situation as you or doing better. You really shouldn't take any advice from somebody who's on the same situation as you because listen, we still in the same boat. If anything, I'm going to be taking advice from somebody who can teach me and help elevate me to the next level. People who are in relationships, this is the thing that kills me. Don't take advice from your single friends if you are in a relationship because it just does not make any sense. In some cases, these people are single for a reason. Married people, don't take advice from people who are not married. It just doesn't make any sense. And a lot of times, people who are unhappy, people who don't have what you have, misery loves company. That's when sometimes these unsolicited counselors start to come out and they want to give you some unsolicited advice. Anybody out there, please drop it in the comments and let me know if you've ever experienced any issues where you've had a friend, you've had somebody at your job. Sometimes it could be a family member that constantly turns around and wants to give you some advice. You didn't ask for it. They're just basically going out there and giving you this unsolicited advice. And the thing about it that is interesting is what's going to be your response? Because sometimes when people give you unsolicited advice, and if you are not in the right mind frame, you can start this dance where you start going back and forth with people. You can start this dance where you start to point fingers and have an attitude because why are you speaking to me like this? Where is this coming from? Did I ask you? Do you have, what are you trying to say type situation? So, and it comes off guard. It's different when you are seeking advice and you go to somebody and you ask, but it's another thing where somebody just wants to step in and try to, give you some advice or want to line you up exactly where they are. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of inspirational reading here. So this is from Lou Sanders. Throughout my life, I've given people unsolicited advice. I once gave someone a 4-page Word document on how to think more positively, and if anything, it made her more negative. Ain't that something? So, throughout my life, I've given people unsolicited advice. I once gave someone a 4-page Word document on how to think more positively, and if anything, it made her more negative. How crazy is that? That you were just so round up and you were just so concerned about somebody else's life that you would turn around and give somebody a 4-page document on how they should live their life properly. That's definitely some straight up unsolicited advice right there. That's craziness. And if anything, it made that person more negative. And that's what typically happens sometimes if you're not in the right mind frame, if you don't know how to handle, if your response isn't on point. So I sometimes we just need to take things in, and whatever somebody says or whatever somebody tries to offer or put on us, take it with a grain of salt. And I don't like to say in one ear and out the other, but if you know clearly that it's not even anything that you're even going to entertain, then sometimes it need to be in one ear and out the other, and with a smile on your face, just say thank you very much. And then after we get past that, now we need to start setting some boundaries. What's going on, Lamia Michelle? How are you? We had a great live on TikTok as well. So go ahead and head on over to TikTok and check it out. She's definitely the truth. Y'all want to go ahead and check out Miss Lamia Michelle. She posts a lot of great things on TikTok as well. Right here on Instagram, she is One Planted Seed. I think it's _One Planted Seed. Please go ahead and check out my sister. She definitely does her thing. But this unsolicited counsel could take you by a storm if you're not prepared. And not everything requires a response, but when it does come time to respond, just do it with grace, do it with elegance. Don't jump out of your character. Check the facts. Sometimes people say things to me today, and I just smile on the inside, and I'll be like, "You have no idea. First of all, you have no idea who you're talking to. That's the first thing. And number two, I can see right through you. I can see right through all of the fakeness. I can see right through. I've learned how to separate the BS from the truth today. So, like before, somebody would say something to me, and I'd be ready to rip their face off and go toe to toe and go round and round. But I don't have the time. I don't have. I don't want to be put in a position where somebody's stealing my energy levels based on some BS. So whenever somebody comes with some nonsense, it's just like, all right, here we go, whatever. I'm not even going to get on your level because when we start to interact with people, we start to take on their things. Now we start to drop down to different worlds. And if you were in a higher situation and you're vibrating at a higher level, no need to drop down to someone else's level and mess up what you got going on to go toe to toe with somebody that ain't even on the same level as you. Remember, when that negativity, when that drama, when that back and forth comes in, trust and believe that you've already downgraded yourself. This is about upgrading. This is about uplifting ourselves. And when we get this unsolicited advice, when we get these people coming from, different walks of life compared to ours, it's all about how we handle it. That doesn't mean that we have to go ahead and take it on. Be very careful with taking things on because then this unsolicited advice, this person that's kicking it to you, this person that is giving it to you can all of a sudden turn around and become your unsolicited counsel. And then now you feel obligated to take advice from them and do what these people tell you to do. Be your own person is what I have to say. Today, in my world, absolutely not. I'm not listening to what somebody else has to say about what I'm doing here today. I've done that too many times and I'm not doing it anymore. Welcome on into the Form 1 podcast, Dis 3 Evolution. We getting ready to go in. We have Miss SOS coming in. And I want to just say something about SOS because, I can't take anything for granted. Ron Stray was going on all of these different names that I keep repeating from the different platforms. And there's some platforms out there that I can't even see who's out there. And I typically don't see until the live stream is over. So whatever I see out here, there's more than what I see. And sometimes there's only one person on one screen and then it turns around to be, 10 or 20 after I'm done. But I remember when there really was just one person out there, and that was Miss SOS. And she definitely held me down on Instagram so many times, came in night after night after night. And so I definitely want to just think back and reflect of how I first started in 2020. And, one person, there was times when there was nobody in there. But now there's so many of you out there checking me out and supporting and, being a part of the Laren Gaines community. And I want to say thank you so much. But I definitely have to really give it up to Miss SOS because she held me down from day one. And here it is 3 years later. And it's an honor to have her come back on, the podcast and do her thing like I know she's going to do. So let's go ahead and get Miss SOS up in here tonight. And it's been over a year since I've really spoke to her over the phone. So we definitely going to see what we got going on here. Hopefully, I can get this pulled up because we've been having some technical difficulties all week. I don't know what's going on. This would work, that doesn't work. I don't know, but we're going to see what happens. So, Alex Coquito, we had problems getting him in. Yeah, we had problems pulling up Nate Perry. Yesterday, though, Robert Stubblefield definitely did his thing. So, reading between the lines, I want to give a very special shout out to Robert Stubblefield for coming in while I'm waiting for my computer system to reset itself. I want to say thank you so much to Robert Stubblefield for coming in, we discussed Your Rejection, My Protection, and he is just a great person. He's a activist. He's a poet. He has another book coming out. We went over Skyfall. Just an overall great person. And I want to say thank you so much for the way you love your community, the way you love your people. Please go ahead and check out that replay. I was sitting up last night watching the replay afterwards, and I'm like, damn, Robert definitely did his thing. Y'all, please go ahead and check out the replay of Reading Between the Wines. I sampled Zinfandel, Old Moon, Old Vine Zinfandel, and that wine was real smooth. The reviews that they gave about it was not real positive, but they just asked the wrong person. Simply Unique, what's going on? They asked the wrong person, because let me tell you, if I gave a review for that wine, it would definitely be top notch. That was a great bottle of wine. And we have Reading Between the Wines coming up tomorrow, too. So we have Enrich Mom coming in, Miss Shantae. I can't wait to speak to her. People, if you want to get yourself together financially, I'm just giving you a little sneak peek. If you want to get yourself together financially, you want to get that credit score on point, I think you really want to tune in tomorrow, because my friend wrote a book about that, and I'm sure that you can get some good knowledge out of there if that's where you're headed. And that is right up my alley. I can't wait to speak to her tomorrow and find out what she has going on. So Reading Between the Wines tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Miss Shantae, a.k.a. Enrich Mom, is coming in. And let's try one more time to get Miss SOS up here. All right, here we go.
Well, hello there.
What's going on? How are you?
Oh my goodness, I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Welcome into the 411 podcast. It's been a long time.
Tell me about it. I was just sitting here thinking about it in my head, the last time I spoke to you was, like online,
Yeah.
was 2022, I believe.
Yeah. And it was before.
I was in Florida, remember?
Yeah, and I'm sure it was before. It was before October, I would think, right?
Yeah, well, because I left in April of 2022. Yeah, I think that was like the last time that, we were like, that I actually spoke to you live was about that time, because after that, I think everybody just kind of went their own way, right?
Yeah, things happen. People change. Yeah. Let's listen. It got real different around that time frame.
Yeah. Exactly. And I never took anything personal, because I understand that, like, sometimes things just change and, people go their own way. But you and we always kept in touch. It's just that at a certain point, I just stopped,
Yeah.
Being on the podcast, and it was crazy. Yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind, but, things are meant to change, so.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you look good. You look good as always.
Why, thank you so much. You crack me up. I appreciate you.
When I talk
about you. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So tonight I'm talking about Unsolicited Counsel. Has there ever been a time, or would you like to just share your thoughts? The song of the day is Jody Watley, Friends. I'm sure you know what that song is. And, she's speaking about friends who stabbed, her in the back. And, did they steal your money? Did they steal your love? Or was it lies they told? I'm thinking of, remixing it. And that's somebody doing something behind your back, right? But what about the friends or the so-called friends that do it straight to your face and I guess unknowingly because they're giving you advice and you're taking it on and you're going back and operating the plan and your whole world's blowing up. For example, single people turning around and giving married people advice and then they going home and disrupting their household, or broke people giving broke people advice. Like, hello, like you don't have money and you think that someone's going to turn around and listen and do the same things that you're doing and you don't even have it together. So, and these people think that some of these people are like their best friends or, their ride or die. So sometimes I call that unsolicited counsel because if you continue to take unsolicited advice, these people become your secret counselors. What do you feel about that?
So are you asking if that has happened to me, or
has it happened to you? What do you feel about the topic? Whatever direction you want to go in.
Unsolicited counsel.
Somebody butting in or jumping in and giving you advice when you didn't even ask them.
Yeah, I understand. I do understand what you're saying. I guess I was trying to make a connection with it, but I guess it doesn't mean that it had to happen to me. You're just kind of asking me how I feel about it, right?
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like there are a lot of people out there who have a lot of shit to say, and sometimes they don't know what's going on, but sometimes I think people feel like they have a right to say, what they want to say, not knowing the whole situation. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that does. Yeah. Like you don't even know what's going on in my life, but just because you see what I'm showing you, you think that you know the whole story, and then they start to make assumptions and give advice based off of that. No, I get it.
Yeah, that's actually a great question because sometimes I get on Instagram and I act a damn fool. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I'm saying is what I put on Instagram is what I want to show you, but you don't see the whole thing.
Absolutely. No, nobody ever does, and where people.
Yeah, so you just make assumptions.
Yeah, and where people get it all twisted up is when they take social media, they take these pictures that people are posting and where they're at, and they take it for face full value, and that becomes a problem.
Yep. But I'm gonna go left with that for a second because you were talking about pictures and things like that. Mm-hmm. Recently I posted something on Instagram, and my question was, I wonder how many of my pictures are circulating on social media and how much money people are getting paid for it. Because that's what people are doing now. They're taking you don't even make, it doesn't have to be anything provocative, but they're making money off of your pictures because what they do is they take your picture and make a fake profile. And so, say for instance, a friend, somebody, and they send you a picture of me, right?
Okay.
If you're thinking that everything on that profile is 100% true, and it's not. So then you start a conversation with me on that profile, but really you're talking to somebody else who made the profile. Yeah. So it's not really me that you're talking to. You get it. You already know.
Yeah, typically the scammers.
So people are making money off of that.
Mm-hmm. I know people who have lost all kinds of wealth and even marriages because they were cheating with a scammer, and money was wired out or whatever the hell, or stolen, because they'll ask for bank account numbers and this and that, and I need food to eat. Victoria Monet has a great song called "Don't Ask Me for Shh." Like, please don't DM me and asking me for money, because it's not gonna happen. Or we get these stupid things like, if you had $5 million, or if you've had a couple $1,000 or whatever value they want to give you, deposit it into your bank account, what would you do? Delete and block. That's exactly what I'm doing. I don't have time for that. And then there's other ones like, what's your Cash App? Nah. If you've watched the Form 1 podcast of Reading Between the Wands, you know how to send a donation. You do not need to take it there. We ain't doing all that.
So I think that these days that's my problem with social media, and I'm pretty much a loner. Like, most people who meet me, they're like, "Oh, you have such a great personality. You're so outgoing." And I do make a lot of friends. I can meet a lot of acquaintances, put it that way. But I really stay to myself. I can count on people I actually hang out with, but that's because I choose to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like by choice, like people who.
Yeah, it's who I hang out. It's by choice kind of thing. Because I get so irritated. I don't even want to say pissed. I get irritated because, just like you were talking about, fake guys, these fake profiles coming in, and DMing me. Most of the time, I just delete it. Sometimes I may say, okay, I'm gonna take this one to see what it's like, and it's always the same. They just try to lure you, and some of them don't directly and say what it is that they want. They try to lead you on. They try to ask questions to build it up. You know what I'm saying? Just to see how long they can get you to hang in there with this game that they're playing. Because trust me, it's going to come out eventually, and they will ask you, or they will get around to, I have this problem, or this or that, or my wife died of cancer, or my kid got killed, or whatever. And then the end of it is always about money. And it's just so irritating, because it's like, Tanny, you knew that when you saw them in your DM, but you just kind of wanted to see like where this was going to go. And I'm just like, God damn it, I'm so done with social media.
Are you dating? Are you dating these days?
No, I'm not. Do you know that I'm still single and celibate? For those of you nosy ass people, yes, I'm still celibate.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm single, not doing anything. Laren, I go to work, I come home, eat whatever, maybe take a walk. Well, not these days since it's getting dark out, but I work, and I work.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Once in a while, I get out and do some things, I mean, I do things in between, but basically, I work, and that's that.
Well, at least you are not swiping left and right, because that will take up a lot of time and energy. And you want to talk about, fake people DMing and stuff. There's a lot of fake profiles, and there's a lot of computer generated things. And some people, What's going on, Sexy in Seconds Boutique? Thank you so much for joining in. Black Podcasting, thank you so much for joining in as well. Dan, the last word, thank you for joining in as well. I appreciate that. There's a lot of fake robots and chatbots and things going back and forth, and these people think that they're speaking to a real person, and you're speaking to a robot. So, not good.
Exactly.
Not good. Time and energy.
No, it's not.
And here's another thing: the way that we are today, and I'm not trying to sound square or anything like that, but I love me today more than probably what the next person does. And when you're out there, just like these people are out, and when I say they are out, this new fascination of open relationships, this over overdrive thing with friends with benefits where you're not really committed, but it is what it is. There's a lot of passing, there's a lot of sharing. And let's not even get into the fact of, that there could be a possible, disease situation going on. That's okay. So that's a big situation right there. But the second thing is you're exchanging and you're sharing energies of different people, spiritual, the spiritual connection that goes on. So, it goes full circle. So, you know what? Maybe you're doing it the right way.
I am doing it the only way that I know how and to protect myself. You know what I mean?
That was a great response.
I don't have...
That was a great response.
I don't even have a lot of visitors coming to my house, not because I don't want people to know where I live, because I live in a beautiful neighborhood, and, it's just really pretty. But it's my safe haven, and it's the last place that I can go that I know I don't have to be bothered with a bunch of nonsense. Because once I go into my place and close my door, I'm in my safe haven. I'm in my world, and I just don't have to deal with the outside world until I go back out again.
I feel you.
And that's how I keep myself safe. I choose, and that's another thing too. I don't want to go off the subject too much, but that's another thing. So, say for instance, I decide, okay, I'm going to step out of the box. I haven't dated in 8 years or whatever. I've been celibate. I've been to myself, and then the one time I decide, I think maybe I found somebody that I like, and he's worth dating.
Mm-hmm.
But in his mind, he thinks that he, you're like, yeah, I got her. That irritates me too, because asshole, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I let you come into my world. It wasn't because you're all that. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Sometimes that happens. Like, yeah, I got her, and we did this and we did that, and I'm thinking, the one time that I decide to let my guard down, this fool thinks that. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. And one thing that I have to say about that is, that it takes a good 2 years for... First of all, let's hope that you get there. What's going on, D Live? I was waiting for you all to show up. So, day, what's it, 4? Day 4? Yeah, day 4, y'all finally showed up. So, what's going on out there on D Live? What's going on, Ike the Alien, all the way out there on YouTube, I believe. Thank you so much. But let's hope that you can get to 2 years. Let's hope you can get there. But it takes 2 years for that chemical in your brain to wear off. Most people end up getting married really quick within, the 2 year time frame. And then after, they hit and that chemical wears off, they're like, damn, I made a mistake. Now I really see what this person is really about. You shouldn't make any quick decisions. You shouldn't do anything within the first 2 years. So people who get married after not even knowing each other for a couple months, or we've been together for a year, now we're getting married, it's a big mistake. You really have to be with that person for 2 years. Let that little chemical wear off of your brain. It's almost like you're on drugs for the first 2 years when you're dating somebody, and definitely within the first month, 30 days. And if you're engaging in sexual activity and stuff like that, you know that you are all the way up high, and all that stuff will fade. And you don't want to get yourself locked into a permanent commitment, or go in, like you said, after you've taken care of yourself for 8 years, you meet somebody, you think that they're the one, 30 days into it, you give in, and to find out, you really usually find out about the 3 month mark that this person wasn't anything to begin with. So just be.
You are right about that, honestly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, because, I was married for 20 years. Let me tell you, it took every bit of 10 years to really get over that marriage. Do you get me?
I hear you.
I mean, seriously, okay, after a couple of years or whatever, you get on with your life, but 20 years of marriage, you did not get over in 2 or 3 years. You get on with your life, but that healing is deep.
And with that, I understand where you're coming from, because for so many years, you would tell yourself, I would tell myself, oh, I'm over it. But the minute that you think about that person, the minute that you hear a song, or the minute that you go to a place that you've been, sometimes when you smell perfumes and colognes or whatever it is that take you back there, you start to feel resentment, anger, bitterness. But I will say that maybe last year was the first time that I was actually able to really understand what it means to forgive somebody.
Wow.
That's a long time.
And I know exactly. Yeah, it is.
Because I'll be 43 years old next week. So.
That's right. That's December. Oh, can I say your birthday on the podcast?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's not next week. It's the following week, December 11th.
Yeah. It's the 11th, right? Of December?
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, December 11th.
I'm not good with remembering birthdays, so I'm surprised that you remember mine, but I'm really not that good at all that. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not going to say, but there's a family member that, oh my God, every time I'm like, oh my God, I got to reach out and call, or I got to do this. I'm not going to say that I'm anything with it, but it's just interesting when it comes to other people's birthdays. And I don't necessarily need anybody to reach out to me and be like, hey, happy birthday, this and that, and all that stuff. I'm not that type of person. But some people are like that, where they want that. I don't need that. But anyway.
Well, what about the person that you're dating, though? Do you feel like, I mean, if they don't...
I've done that before.
I don't know.
You don't remember that story when I've said that, when I forgot my spouse's birthday? Now, granted, I was working an overnight shift the night before, okay, and came home and was tired. But I forgot, actually almost, and then in another situation, I almost forgot my spouse's birthday too. And anyway, I'm just interested when it comes to birthdays.
Yeah. I do like my birthday to be remembered, but I mean, I don't expect everybody to remember it, but if you people I do, but especially if I'm in a relationship, I do.
If you casually say, "Oh, my birthday's coming up,"
I mean, I kind of want.
If you say, "Oh, my birthday's coming up," and you put out those subtle reminders here and there, then that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but it's all good though. Whatever. But I was gonna say, I remember your birthday because it's December and 11 is always the number that shows up all the time, 11, 11, 1 on 1, that kind of thing. So that's why I really remember yours, because you have a special number in your birthday, which is 11. That's very special.
You know who has a special number in their birthday too?
Who?
1111. Somebody that I like a lot.
Are you talking about MJ?
Yeah, 1111.
That's your birthday?
Mm-hmm.
No, well, see? How can anybody forget your... Oh, come on. You guys are so connected. You know I always say that, right?
I mean, 12, 11, 11, 11. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's still 11. Can you believe that? Like, you're 12, 11, and she's 11, 11. Come on now.
I thought it was interesting growing up as a kid, because, I've been liking her since I was, 11 years old? That's funny. Yeah, 11.
Oh, okay. See, okay, now I'm getting chills, because life for me, the way that I see it, started for me when I was 11 years old.
Yeah, that whole thing where you change every 7 years?
Yeah.
That's a little... You think back to your life and you think every 7 years, or if you want to push it, like every 10 years. Typically, you don't really switch over to the next thing because you're still trying to hold on to the past. But definitely every 10 years, your life shifts and you go into a whole nother new body. And I remember that time frame when I was 11 years old and What's the 4-in-1 came out, and that just put me, it marked as me moving from a child standpoint into being like teen type, because I had to grow up quick. But yeah.
Yeah. So you do know that I have a new addition to my family, right?
Yes, I was just looking at his picture today.
Oh my God, he is the cutest little thing. I mean, people, of course, always say that about their, grandkids or whatever, but really he's so cute. He's 5 months old now.
But he's your first grandchild.
He's my first, yeah. Yep.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
His dad is my first grandson.
Everything that you're experiencing now, I don't want to experience that until late 50s, maybe 60. Just so that you know. Because I got 2 daughters and I'm not interested in experiencing any of that until late 50s. I am, like I said, I'm going to be 43 in a couple weeks, so late 50s is what I say.
Well, I mean, I'm 62, Laren, so I guess this is a perfect time, but, and he's 42. My oldest son is 42, so,
okay.
I guess it was a perfect time for him, actually, though, honestly, because I'll have a conversation with some people, and then I'll say, you know what? I don't know how his life turned out for him, but as a mother, looking on the outside, I'm like, God, this guy's life has been perfect. I mean, all of his friends had children like in their 20s, right? Or 30s. And here he is, 42, having his first child. But honestly, it's perfect for him because he's in a good spot or a good space in his life where he's done everything that he's going to do. Now he can focus on work and being a father and a husband or whatever. So that was great because I was 21, I guess, when I had him.
I mean, it works out that way. When I was just like you, we have that in common. I started raising my family when I was 21. So from 21 to 30, late 30s, it was all about focusing on raising, a family and stuff like that. So there wasn't a lot of party time. There wasn't a lot of, extra stuff. There wasn't a lot of travel and things like that. But now that my kids are older, my daughters are older, now I can do some of those things. So a lot of people do that. You see older people, some people might say act your age or just doing adventures or doing stuff like that. And then you see people like I know somebody who's like 60 years old who has children in elementary school. And I have to say, absolutely not. I would never do that, but some people do that. So they just live the rest of their lives, raising children. I don't know. But so I get it. So your son did it the other opposite way. Other people do it the other way.
Yeah, he's 42 years old with his first child. And I'm thinking, wow, man, he totally broke the mold. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In our family. But that's good though. So I'm very excited, and I am moving to a certain place. I'm not going to put all my business out there, but I am going to be moving, and I will reach my destination on your birthday.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to. I remember what you said.
Yeah.
I know you said you were traveling, but I'll have to look back at the text to figure out the destination. Okay.
Yeah, I will be traveling on your birthday, so that's a good day.
I had no idea that we were that close. Are you moving away from that area that you're in now?
Yeah. I've been here 12 years.
So you're moving out of the state, or you're staying in the same state, just a different location?
I'm moving from one state to another state. Long distance.
Oh, yeah. I think I know where you're going. Yep. The weather will be better, right?
Yeah. Thank God.
Oh, my goodness.
Bones.
Yeah. Is it cold where you're at? Because it's cold over here.
It's chilly. Yes, it is. I can feel it in my bones, man. Whew.
I don't like it.
So where I'm going to be going now, it's a little bit warmer. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I spoke to a couple people that lived there, and they said it was kind of boring. Is it like country boring?
It's not a lot it's not, well, you know what? You can find things to do because, here where I am, it's close enough where I can get, to DC or Jersey or New York or whatever. And it's stuff to do here, but it's certain things that you do here, that you might not do in another place. Am I making any sense?
Yeah.
So there are things to do. It just may be different from what you would normally do, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that does.
So let me give you an example. So where I'm going. The first time I went there was the time that I was there, like May 21 until April of 2022. So it was like 10 months that I, was there. Yeah, anyway. So it was my first time going, what do you call that, tubing? When you get in a little tube thing and you go down the river?
Absolutely not.
Like tubing or something?
Absolutely not, but I hear you.
I couldn't believe it. It was great, Laren. I'm not kidding you.
I'm glad you did it.
So much. Huh?
I said I'm glad you did it because it wouldn't be me.
It's not rafting. You're not on a boat. You're just in the tube, the big tube thing. You're sitting down in it, and you're just cruising down the river. It's nothing wild about it, or the water's not rocky. You're just basically on a river floating, like you might be in a swimming pool floating, but you're just in a wide open space. We did it for hours and hours and hours until we got to the very end, where you get off and all. But that was, to me, the best experience. And I know some people, they grow up doing that kind of stuff. So that's what I mean when I say that in that particular place, there's a lot of stuff to do, but that's the kind of stuff you would do there versus if you were somewhere else. Yeah. So it's just a different kind of a lifestyle. But where I am in my life right now, I can make shit happen. I mean, I don't need anything too much. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Less is more.
Yeah.
That's what I say today. Less is more.
Yeah. I mean, hell, if I want to go to Las Vegas, I can just get on a plane and go to Las Vegas. You know, if I want to go to California and do something California style, I can do that.
Oh, I love it. I love Palm Springs.
I got yes. Oh God, isn't it beautiful? You went there, didn't you?
Yeah, I just love the heat. Like, people complain because it's like 102 degrees. But then I think back to where I wake up today and it's like 23 degrees. Well, I'm not feeling that. And I'd rather be dealing with 120 degrees and going swimming and worrying about cooling myself down than trying to heat myself up, because it's easier to cool myself down than it is to heat myself up.
I know. When I was in Vegas, August, I forget what it was, over the summer, coming back from, from visiting where I was. And my cousin laughs at me because everybody in Vegas constantly, they have their air conditioners on. I'm running out of the house to go into the heat. Do you know how goddamn hot it is in Las Vegas when you go outside?
Yeah.
My cousin, she said, "You are so funny." She said, "It's funny to watch you get cold in the house.
Yeah.
And then you go outside for half an hour because you got to get that heat in your body."
Yeah, I don't like the AC. I'm right there with you. We got that in common. We definitely have that in common.
Yeah. I'm like, God, I have to wear coats and stuff when I'm in Vegas inside the house, and then when I go outside, I'm taking everything off, and she cracked up because she's used to it. I don't want my body to be cold like that.
Yeah, like why do you want to experience winter in the summertime to where you have to have a whole bunch of blankets on, you have to have coats and stuff like that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
So what's your ultimate destination, or do you have a destination that you'd like to be in for good, or just maybe visit for a while? Like a hot place?
Yeah, I really like Palm Springs.
So that's like your ultimate destination, you think?
I mean, I still have a lot of traveling to do, but for right now, the heat, the Arizona, Vegas, California heat, I love that type of stuff. So those three places, I love those three places right now. But I still...
Yes. Yeah. So what else has been going on with you? Nothing really's been going on with me. I'm not doing the nanny thing anymore. I stopped that in 2020. When COVID hit, I just stopped that and went to, the place that I went to. Mm-hmm. I'm sure people probably know where I was, but anyway. And then I came back and I decided to get into retail. I can't believe I did, but I love where I work. I cannot tell you how much I love where I work doing retail.
Well, that's good that you like it. I don't like it. I've spent over 20 years in it, and I could write a whole book as far as the things that happened to me in that environment. And no, I don't. I'm glad that it works for you, but this time around, I really feel for the people who are in retail. The starting, Black Friday on, it's just it's interesting.
It is really interesting. I really don't mind saying where I work. We only have 7 locations in different places, but it's called Public Lands, and it's we have a rock climbing wall in our store. That's how big the store is.
I've never heard of it before.
Square feet, huh?
I've never heard of that place before.
It's really, I love it. You just meet people coming in from all over, visitors. So we have a ski section in the store. People can actually come in and rent skis to go skiing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a rock climbing wall. You have to be 6 years of age and above. But some people have parties. Some women come in there, and it's like a group of women. They have a, party, and it's just funny. I work in apparel. Mm-hmm. So the North Face is one of them, and Patagonia, and it's a few other like big name brands in there. So I work in apparel. I'm learning how to work in the shoe department. So we have that. We sell a lot of,
hiking gear and all that stuff. Hiking boots and stuff and
like
that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, water. I mean, like nice water shoes, not the cheap kind, but nice. We even sell Vans, which is like, wow, we sell Vans shoes, and I love it. What else? Camping. We have a big camping section. We have. We don't really specialize in swimwear. I mean, we do have it when it's in season, but it's not a big thing. So it's mostly like an outdoor kind of a store, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. That's good. I'm sure
it's really nice. It is. It's very nice. I like it.
I mean, I'm sure that's a different walk of life. Those people typically are like going on vacation. So people who are in vacation mode or are typically happier when they're shopping and stuff like that. So,
You hit the nail on the head. I was working with a lady today, and she was looking for a certain kind of like a hiking pant, and she's on her way to Central America. And we do sell clothes like that, specifically for traveling. Some people have come in, they've gone to Peru or Costa Rica or Egypt, just all kinds of places.
That's a place I want to visit, Egypt soon.
Yeah. We sell those trekking sticks that you use when you're taking walks, like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we sell a lot of stuff. Huge, big into camping. Stuff. So anything with camping. Oh my God, we have like a whole section of things like that. I mean, stuff that I had never seen. I never knew existed. And then, what was I going to say? It's something about skiing. Yeah, so when people come in and they buy their, ski things or whatever, and we rent out the actual boots and the things that you ski with and all of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty interesting because it's just not about selling apparel, but you make connections with people.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I like it.
Well, I can't believe this, but it's almost time to go. Can't believe it. Like we just started talking, but before
I know that's okay. Because I'll come back. We'll come back. We're just catching up.
Yeah. But before you leave, I do have to ask you a burning question. So, for those of you out there, if you want to go ahead and participate in this, if you have a burning question that you'd like me to bring up on future podcasts, what's going on, Mr. Robert Stubblefield? He was in last night on Reading Between the Wines. We have Marcus Relaford that's coming up soon, all the way from California. Thank you so much, comedian Marcus Relaford will be in soon. You can text me at 609-730-611, your burning questions, how you feel about it. If you want to keep it anonymous, I can bring it up on, a future podcast. Whatever the case may be, that is the 411 hotline, 609-730-611. And Miss SOS, the burning question that I have for you tonight is, if you can spend a week as someone of the opposite sex, who would it be and why? So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that for everybody. If you can spend a week as someone of the opposite sex, who would it be and why?
Oh, so I would be that person?
Yeah, for a week. But it wouldn't be a woman, so in your case, it would be a man. So if you can spend a week.
Oh, I got.
Yeah.
And be that person for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I don't know. That's a good question. Shit. I wasn't expecting that.
For those of you out there that are listening and watching, drop it in the comments and let me know what would be your response. So, if you can spend a week as someone of the opposite sex, who would it be and why?
Barry White.
Now, why? But okay, so why? It's funny you said that because I'm gonna.
That man was so brilliant. Like, I don't know him. I think I know him because I listen to his music. He's so brilliant. He was just a genius. Just a big old dude. You know what I mean? Can sing. Yeah. I thought he was handsome. You know, but and I would hear him on talk shows and see him on talk shows, and I would listen to, you know, the questions that were being asked and how he answered those questions. I don't know. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Nobody would ever get it, but that's my answer. Barry White. I would be Barry White for a week.
It's so funny that you said that because when I started to listen to some of his talking, not necessarily the singing, but they're restoring a lot of his old interviews and stuff. And you were absolutely right. I was like, damn, this dude was like really like on point. I would say just some of the same conversations that we are having now, he was having back then.
Yes, he was brilliant.
I'm like, what in the world? Like, this dude is just like, he was on point with it.
But, yeah, he's a brilliant mind, and I love people with brilliant minds. I do. I'm sorry. I'm just a sapiosexual, if that's what you want to call it. But, yeah, he was brilliant. So I think, that's a good choice. That's a damn great question, Laren.
If I could,
I like that.
I don't have a specific person who I would be, but I would say I would set it up properly. Like, I would want to be somebody who has a lot of responsibility, because we always want, you know, that lifestyle. So someone who makes a lot of decisions, you know, someone of royalty. I would like to see what that's like.
Oh yeah.
For a week. For a week, because you know what, you can get back to your regular life and be like, okay, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't have.
You got a taste of it.
Yeah, I don't have a specific person, but definitely somebody of power who has to make a lot of decisions.
Okay, I get it. No one in particular, but I get it. It makes sense. Yeah. So that's I knew that you know our first getting back together was going to go so fast because we have so much to talk about, but
yeah,
I cannot believe that we've come full circle again.
Well, you know, I got some freestyle sessions coming up. I definitely will let you know, so you most certainly can come back at any time. But thank you again. Yeah. Like I said, I let everybody know that you were there from day one and you're still, you know, hanging in there with me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Boy,
yeah.
Have we both gone through some things?
That's true though. But with my new grandson and all, I'm not going to say that my whole focus is going to be on him, but pretty much I am, and I'm in really a great space. So nobody can really. I was going to say the F word, but I'm not going to. Nobody can really bother me at this point. It's just not happening. I'm in a whole new space now, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I feel you.
Shine. And then sometimes, you got your butt facing the sun, so it can get some sun too. So anyway.
Well,
but thanks for inviting me back on the show, Aaron.
You too. It was great talking to you, and I definitely will be talking to you in the future. And you have a wonderful night and enjoy work tomorrow. And I'll talk to you when I talk to you.
Okay, you take care. Love you.
Love you too. Take care now. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so there you have it. That was Miss SOS. These nights have just been flying by, flying by, flying by. I want to say thank you so much to everybody out there who checked me out tonight. So many different people showed up on different platforms. We had D Live show up. Thank you so much to the D Live family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Looks like that was France that was up there, but I have to check out and figure out what that language was. Thank you so much for the international love that I get from outside of the U.S. too. You all are important to me as well because we come together collectively as a whole. Sometimes I have to go and figure out what the language is and respond to people in different languages too. And I try my best to stay on top of that too. So thank you so much out there. I wanted to say something about unsolicited counsel too before we get out of here, because I remember something that my grandmother used to say all the time, which would crack me up because I would love to hear her say the things that she say. But when it comes to people telling you something about your life, my grandmother would say, those are the same people, and I'm sure y'all remember this too if y'all had old school grandparents like I had. The same people that have something to say are the same people that don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. So before getting upset over somebody giving you some unsolicited counsel, just remember that sometimes it could be the same people that don't even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. Those are the ones that are trying to tell you something about your life. So when you are able to separate the BS from the truth and you can see it, man, there's no reason to even get upset over that. So thank you so much, SOS, for coming in tonight. Was a blessing to have you come through tonight. Tomorrow, we have Reading Between the Wines, and I'm gonna just keep it all the way real with you. As soon as I get out of here, I am going to eat something like you wouldn't even believe. So I'm trying to hurry up and get out of here so I can eat, because, yeah, I'm ready to eat. Tomorrow, Reading Between the Wines, I'm sampling this bottle of wine. Joseph Handler Sweet Red. This is a German wine, and it is a very sweet wine. So yesterday I did Zinfandel. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing this Joseph Handler Sweet Red. Reading Between the Wines. We have Shantae coming tomorrow, aka Enrich Mom. So if you have any financial questions, you want to get your credit together, you want to get your finances together, come on in tomorrow for Reading Between the Wines, because my friend has written a book about that topic, and I definitely have questions for her. So if you do, come right on in tomorrow. And you can always text me at 609-730-611, and maybe I'll ask her any specific questions that you have. I will be broadcasting live from Celebration, Florida, December 8th, 9th, and 10th. So please hang out with me during that time frame. I'm going to try to visit a winery and sample some of the wines that are from, the Orlando Celebration area. So check me out for Reading Between the Wines live from Celebration, Florida, coming up on December, I think that is December 8th. Yes, it's December 8th, Reading Between the Wines live from Celebration, Florida. Jonathan Martin Ives is coming. He is a talented director, producer. friend of mine. He'll be in on Saturday speaking about his new project as well. And again, you can catch all of the replays, the clips, the snips going on from Dis3 Evolution at Laren Gaines. And again, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, which is formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch, Daily Motion. Thank you so much for joining in. Check me out if you want to continue the same type of conversation, the vibe that me and SOS had tonight. I have one-on-one conversation sessions that you can book starting in January as well, because I'm already booked up. I got the podcast going from now until January. But if you want one-on-one conversation sessions with me, your topic, your choice, whatever you like to discuss, you can go ahead and head on over to larengaines.com and you can go ahead and book that session starting the January 1st, 2nd, whatever that week of January, and starting as low as $39.99. If you want some travel and adventure in your life, again, head on over to larengaines.com. I can help you with your travel itinerary, get you some discounts, and you can vacation with me instead of vacationing with the others. We got a different little situation going over here. So vacation with me over at larengaines.com. And I also have something new and exciting coming up next month. We have Whispers of Wisdom. I have a newsletter that is going to give you all of the things that I have going on, whether it's wine sampling, whether it's a new vacation spot, whether it's clips from the 411 podcast or reading between the wines, giving you those small words of encouragement, those whispers of wisdom. So you'll get that as well. All of that bundled up into an exciting newsletter that's going to be delivered to your mailbox once a month. So I'm not here to, spam you and give you a whole bunch of nonsense, but just one nice newsletter with all of those nice topics that I spoke about once a month. If you want to sign up for Whispers of Wisdom, head on over to larengaines.com and sign up. And all of the details are there as soon as you head on over to Laren Gaines. And we made it. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who joined in tonight. You have no idea. I appreciate each of you. I had so much fun tonight. Y'all give me energy. You give me life every time I come out here and I'm able to do this podcast, and I love it. So thank you so much. SOS, I appreciate you so much. And yes, that's amazing. I would love to, continue this whole process that we have going on. All right, y'all. Stay safe. Stay warm. Because, man, it's so cold over here in Jersey, and I'm just looking forward to heading on over to Celebration, Florida, ASAP, and get the hell up out of here. Thank y'all so much. Take care. You have a wonderful day.